Welcome to this unit on accessibility, providing alternative activities, worksheet creation. For easy worksheet creation, I rely on 3 quick and easy recipes. Our standard tab-delimited term definition file readily lends itself to the rapid creation of 3 activity variants. 1. Missing term. The definition is provided, and the student must supply the missing term. 2. Missing definition. The term is provided, and the student must supply the definition. 3. Matching. Match each term with the scrambled list of definitions. Scrambling the list. Excel can help us scramble the list while preserving an instructor's answer sheet. In this video, I'll show you how to use our tab-delimited term definition file that we used for creating a video game activity to create a simple term definition worksheet that you can hand out as an alternative activity for students that don't enjoy or are not able to access a video game activity. Let's start by opening one of our term definition files. I'll use our instructional technology and media for learning file that I created earlier. And this is tab delimited. I'm going to omit the source acknowledgement and just grab the term and definition and Control C to copy that. And I can drop that right into an Excel file. There's a blank Excel worksheet, and Control V, I will paste that in. And if I grab the whole sheet and auto size the columns, we can see that it automatically recognized the tab delimiting and gave us the list nicely laid out in 2 columns. And what I'd like to do is start by creating a scrambled list that we can use for different formats of a term and definition worksheet activity. And so our friend Excel here can help us to quickly scramble the list. I'll just take, I'm right-clicking and inserting a, right-clicking and inserting a empty column. And I'll use a little function equals rand between. That gives us a random number, and let's say between 0 and 10,000. And if I take and copy that formula down over this range, I now have a list of random numbers, and I can go ahead and sort this. Let's say smallest to largest, expand the selection, and that's the whole point, is to get everybody else sorted by these randomly generated numbers. And good, we're done with that. We can dump this column. I'll right-click and delete it. And now all of our terms with their corresponding definitions are randomly sorted. And so that saves me the trouble of having to manually sort or randomize them. I can then copy that whole collection and Control C. And let's just go grab a new Word document. And we'll make a blank document and paste that in. And let's take this table, comes in as a table, and let's see, let's make it auto fit to the window so it fits in there. And the other thing I'd like to see is I'd like to see better alignment. So these are aligning the individual cells centered. And let's turn the borders on so it's a little easier to see. If we turn all the borders on, we can see that these cells would be better if we were to align them to the top. If we right-click on that, and let's look at the table properties, and let's align the cells to the top. Good, that's a little bit easier to see. And another thing maybe we should do, I'm gonna select here, let's insert a new row above, and let's put in the words term, maybe all caps. No, mixed case is better for screen readers. So term and definition, and let's set the style on those to heading 1, And let's do one other thing with the table properties here. And let's set that row so that it doesn't break across pages, but we will repeat it as the top of each page. So if we break pages, that will be repeated. And let's just resize this a little bit more nicely. There we go. All right. Very good. And one other thing I'll do to save myself a little work down the line is I have a standard boilerplate that I use that has, not there, has all my instructions for the different variants of word searches that I use in my text header. So I'll just take that, give you a look at that. There we go. And I'll grab the 3 different variants of the instructions and the header, grab it from my boilerplate, and drop it in right here. And now I'm ready to go in creating any of the 3 different styles of worksheets that I'm going to want to build. And all my terms and definitions are scrambled, but this initially, because they're all there and completed, this makes my instructor's answer sheet because after having scrambled them, they're still corresponding with each other. And we'll just simply, in the next steps, remove either the definitions or the terms, and optionally for a matching exercise, add the list of terms, and we'll re-alphabetize that list down below for the student to use in a matching exercise. We'll see that in the next video. The missing term worksheet. In this worksheet, the student must supply the missing term corresponding to the provided definition. With our list scrambled and nicely placed and formatted as a table in Microsoft Word with our boilerplate instructions in place, finishing off a missing term worksheet is really very simple. Let's do this. Delete the unneeded instructions. And now I have the instructions needed here. And at this point, this is the instructor's solution key. So let's go ahead and file, and I'll just go ahead and save it for demonstration purposes. And I'll say missing term solution sheet. There we go. Okay, so I got all my solutions in there. Now all I have to do to make the student's version of the worksheet, come down and delete the terms. Voila, I have missing term worksheet, and save as, and instead of the solution worksheet, this is the student worksheet, and save it, and we're done. Missing definition worksheet. In this worksheet, the student must supply the missing definition corresponding to the term provided. Our second worksheet variant is the missing definition worksheet. And so once again, I will start with my intermediate file that I created and the boilerplate that has all 3 of my different variant instructions. Let's delete the missing term instructions and the match the terms and definitions instructions. And now this is supposed to be a missing definition. So let's go ahead first and save this again as my instructor solution. So we'll say File, Save As, and we'll call it the missing definition worksheet solution, or something similar, and come on in and simply highlight the list of definitions, make those blank, File, Save As, and instead of the solution, this is now the student worksheet. And there we are, just that quick. Matching worksheet. In this worksheet, the student must match the term from the supplied list of terms with its corresponding definition. Finally, let's create a matching worksheet. Again, let's get rid of our boilerplate instructions for the two unused formats. And let's take our list of terms and copy it. And now we need to get that sorted again to present it as a list of choices to the students. So let's go ahead and paste it in here. And let's sort that out. Oh, you know what it's doing? It's skipping the sort of the first. It thinks that's a title. So let's just insert a blank there. Now let's try that again and sort it out. And that's sorted. I'm going to drop off the borders. And now we have that alphabetically. And what I would like to do is I'd like to, rather than taking up a whole nother page, what if we made that a multi-column table of term choices? So there's 20, so let's say about 4 columns across, we'd have 5 in each. So I'll grab everything after the first 5, right click, and let's tell it to cut that, and then paste it in the next column over. And again, everything after the first 5, right click, cut that, paste it in the next column over, and everything past the first 5, right click, cut, and paste it in the next column over. Let's resize our columns so everything is suited to the size of the contents. Let's grab that whole table, Control C, hop back over to our Word document, this one. There we go. And underneath here, underneath the last table, we'll say list of terms, and Control V to paste that in. And I think it's a little easier to read when the table is formatted with borders. So let's drop some borders back on that. And take our list of terms, let's make that a heading. And again, there's our instructor's solution. So let's go ahead and File, Save As, and we'll call this call it matching terms instructor, call it solution worksheet. There it is. And then to make the student worksheet, simply come down and highlight and delete all of the terms, and File, Save As, and we'll change it from solution worksheet to student worksheet and save it. And there we go. Thank you for viewing this activity.